Peace and blessings. I'm Jasira Kahina. You can also call me Coach J. And as a transformational and empowerment coach, I help high achieving women just like you find and maintain excellence and balance in all areas of your life while you are out here changing the world. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful start to your week. I am so excited about the topic I want to talk about today. It's still relatively new to me. I'm going to tell you guys a story that I heard about 2 weeks ago, but it has been so influential in my life already that I wanted to bring it over to my community. And so today what we're going to talk about are ways to make sure that you're being flexible and not settling. Sometimes we can get the two mixed up. We think that we're being flexible, but we're not. We're actually settling. And I want us to talk about ways to make sure to do that mental check-in with ourselves to make sure that we're not settling in any area of our life. Now, I know as achieving women, high achieving women like us, I know that we already have accomplishments and accolades and certifications and degrees and credentials. And I know that we have done awesome things because we've learned the value of knowing our worth, speaking up for what we want, and all of those beautiful things. But as high achieving women, we also know the value of checking in with ourselves, being self-reflective, and also remembering that the things that got us to the level we are now may not necessarily be able to get us to the next level that we aspire to go to without being thoughtful in evolving out of particular mindsets or maybe building upon them and making them even better. And so I think today's story is going to be one way that you guys can do that. I know I've already started doing it in my own life. So if you're ready, let's get started. Okay, so the story is coming from a 5-day program that I signed up for with this wonderful sister named Courtney L. Sanders. I will be sure to put a link to her channel in the description as well as the comments. She is amazing. She is doing wonderful things for those who choose to get under her mentorship and leadership in terms of their coaching programs and their businesses. I encourage you to check out her channel. Now, the challenge that I did was free, so I think that makes it okay for me to share this one part of the story that she talked about during this particular week that I was working with her. But I have to tell you that it was life-changing. So most of you have probably signed up for programs and you already know what to expect, right? You might get a little bit of information, but they're basically going to try to keep selling you a bunch of stuff. So that's kind of the mindset that I walked in with. Okay, let me see how much information she's going to give in between her trying to sell me to a package or whatever. And while she did have a program that I am excited about being a part of in the future, that's not what she did at all. She actually gave us some really thoughtful and helpful tools that I've already been able to implement into my business so that I could go ahead and start making some of the changes that I had been considering but wasn't real sure how to implement. She helped us to figure out whether we needed to pivot so that we could more directly target our market and all types of information that I've already been able to implement. So this story was just one of many things that I was able to take away from the 5 days that I spent with her in this virtual cohort. But I do want to tell this story because of the impact that it had on me. So Courtney lives in Texas, and during the pandemic, the height of the pandemic, her and her husband had sold a house in one city and moved to another city in the same state. So while they were moving, this was during the part of the pandemic where we were having a lot of the supply chain issues. If you guys remember, we were having the chip shortage with new cars that was causing the used car market to go through the roof. And we also had issues with things getting from point A to point B in a quicker fashion. And so as a result of the time that they moved, there was a particular piece of furniture that they ordered and they found out it was going to take 36 weeks. You heard me, 36 weeks for it to actually get to them. So her dad happened to be visiting at the new house around this time, and she let him know what they had found out about this piece of furniture and made a comment. She was jokingly just saying, I guess me and the kids, are just going to be on the floor for a little while we wait for this to come in. So her father says, well, I don't remember you guys having a ton of furniture at the old place, so where did the furniture I saw come from? And so she said, oh, we just hired a staging company, and so we just rented furniture for a little while so that potential buyers could see what the home looked like when they walked through. So he looked at her and he said, well, why won't you call a staging company and see if you can rent furniture for 36 weeks? So she felt this light bulb go off, and she was just like, oh, Dad, you're wonderful. Thank you so much. I hope I'm so wise. I'm as wise as you when I get older. And he corrected her. He said, it wasn't wisdom and it's not my age. The reason I was able to come up with that solution and you weren't is because sitting on the floor was an option for you. Me sitting on the floor will never be an option. Mind-blowing moment, right? That's what it was for me. So she went on to tie that into what we were going to talk about in terms of that topic for the day. But I walked away not just with that information concerning my business, but from a personal and self-development perspective. That was something that stuck with me for like the next 48 hours, like hard. It was like, oh my God, he's right. And then that had me start thinking, are there some areas where I'm putting up with things that I shouldn't? Are there certain areas where I think I'm being flexible, but I'm settling? Are there any areas that I need to do better in? And so I thought that it would be great to start off our week by talking about that here in our community, which is why I wanted to bring it over for us. And so what I want us to do is really start taking inventory. A lot of us have many different areas of our lives that are important to us. And specifically as women, we know that we are born with the more nurturing personality, the more giving nature. We tend to have the bigger hearts, the kinder spirits. We tend to be, our thoughts or our decisions can tend to be a little more emotionally driven, which is not a bad thing. We know the value in that. But as women who are also out here changing the world, whether it be in our homes or classrooms or boardrooms, domestically, internationally, we also know that there have been times, whether in the past or even now, where we've had to toe the line. We've had this inner struggle, if you will, between our emotional, kind nature and having to make hard decisions. And sometimes that can look like maybe having to let someone go. If we're an executive or a manager or even running our own business, if there's an employee that we have to fire, we may struggle with knowing that they're not performing as they should and knowing that we've given them enough opportunity to improve, but still thinking from the perspective of what are they going to do, and maybe we've gotten a personal relationship with them so we know how it's going to affect their home or their kids. We know that struggle. It can also look like if you're someone who's been promoted to an executive or C-level position and you're someone who's come through the ranks. So of course you develop relationships while you were in these other levels, and maybe the levels that you used to work in down here, you still have friendships, you still have relationships and connections, and you're finding that those are also the people who tend to do what you ask the least amount of time. They tend to be the ones who don't necessarily respect you like they do other C-level executives with the same title that you have or the same level of responsibility that you have. They seem to be so familiar with you that they don't seem interested in seeing you a different way, but you know that it's impairing your ability to be successful in that particular department that you're responsible for. Still haven't really brought anything up though, because you don't want to cause confrontation or you don't want them to think that you think you're better than them. It can look like fees. Those of you who charge fees for your services. It can look like knowing that you should be charging more, but being afraid that either people won't buy, people won't be clients, or you may even have a little bit, like I talked about last week, a little bit of imposter syndrome where you don't think that you're worthy of the prices that you should be charged. And this can go in a ton of other areas of your life, relationships. As high achieving women, most of us have discovered that we can't necessarily date like others. We may have tried, and we may have found more instances where men tend to be more intimidated by us because we're doing our own thing and because we have our own accolades and because we're making our own money. And they will either come out and be honest and tell us, or they'll self-sabotage or try to make us feel like it's our fault when they walk away because they just don't want to deal with the fact that they couldn't handle a woman who had her own mind, her own thoughts, her own accomplishments and things of that nature. And sometimes you can find yourself dumbing down your relationship requirements. You think you're just adjusting to what's out there when the reality is that you should still make sure that your standards don't change. But maybe you've gotten tired of men running. You've gotten tired of barely getting past the first level of dating, and you're thinking that if you can just be more flexible, you'll have a better chance of connecting with a man who'll stick around. It could be any area at all. What I want us to do, if that story hit you the way that it hit me, I want us to really sit down and do inventory. Now, the same way that she said this to me, I want to say to you, she didn't bring that story up in a way to shame us, to make us feel like we need to be self-critical of ourselves or anything like that. And she also made sure that she didn't take the information that her father gave her that way. And I don't want you to take that information that way. This is not to shame you. This is not to put you down. This is not to cause you to have a trigger where you start beating yourself up or anything like that. As high achieving women, we know that one of the biggest things that can help us to be successful is to be in a constant state of being willing to learn, to grow, to release old mindsets that may have gotten us where we are, so that we can make room for new mindsets that will help us get where we're going. And we know that it's always important to self-reflect, to do inventory, to make sure that the things that we have in our lives, whether it be tangible, whether it be financial, whether it be the way that we think, the way we behave, the way we speak, we always want to be in a place where we're making sure, are these things helping or hindering? And I thought that was a wonderful story with great analogies to let us take that time to self-reflect and say, okay, how is my pricing structure? Does my pricing structure reflect what I know I bring to the industry and to the market? Does it represent my skill and my talent and my quality and my abilities? Or does it reflect what I was comfortable charging because I was afraid to go above this amount? Check this out in every area of your life. Am I really dating? Is this person really reflective of the type of relationship that I said I desire? Does this person reflect the effort and the work that I put into myself? Is this person lining up with the work and effort I put into myself so that I could be ready for what I've asked for? Or is there a chance that there may be just hitting a couple of points, but not everything, and I'm just trying to make myself okay with it? Am I putting up with disrespect at work because I knew them and we came to the job together, and I don't want them to think that I think I'm better than them now, when I really should be more focused on walking in the confidence that I earned this role. I wasn't given this role, I earned it. I worked hard for it. And I deserve the respect that my coworkers are getting. And I can't demand that they respect me, but I can make sure that they don't disrespect me or diminish the value that I'm bringing to the organization. I can have that conversation with them. And if I'm unable to be successful having that conversation with them, that also lets me know that the friendship I thought we had is not there. It could be any particular part of your life. I just wanted to bring up the big three because those are some that I typically know that women like us tend to go through. If we are moved up in rank and we've developed relationships at the original level of the org chart, relationship, pricing structures, having to make hard decisions like letting someone go. I know a lot of us have dealt with that, but it could be any other area of life. What I want us to do is take the week. Start tonight while you're having your nighttime routine, whether you're listening to soft music, reading a book, meditating, something of that nature. I really want you to sit down and ask yourself, are there areas where my standards could be raised a little higher? Maybe it was okay in my 20s or when I was a college kid without a lot of money. Maybe it was okay for me to consider sitting on the floor. I might have even tried to make it fun. But if I'm now 20 years out and I'm still saying sitting on the floor is okay, is there a chance that I have a little bit of a complex that I'm still dealing with? Maybe a limiting belief in that area. Let me really dig deep and make sure that the things that I say I'm okay tolerating aren't actually things that I'm settling for out of fear of anything, confrontation, lack, losing friendships, not having love in your life, whatever. Let's make sure that we're really being thoughtful about the things that we're okay with and making sure that what we're okay with is still aligning with the greatness that we are. We are ambitious and we are driven. We are goal-oriented. We are doing amazing things. We are leading our homes. We may be also leading boardrooms. We may also be leading classrooms. And we do it with the heart of someone who sincerely wants to see people or society or a particular cause get better. We deserve the best. I want to make sure that we do what we need to do to get out of the way so that the best can also connect with us and that we're not showing it away through bad habits, false ideals about ourselves, or just plain old self-sabotage. All right, so that is the message that I have for you guys today. I hope that you've enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you hit the like, hit that thumbs up so that the algorithm can find out that this new channel is actually turning heads and people are really enjoying the information that I'm providing. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell notification so that you don't miss a single video that I upload. And don't forget to bring your friends over. Bring more of your high achieving friends into this new community. As always, don't forget to check out the description as well as the comment section so that you can see other ways that you can connect with me via social media, and so you can find out more information about my VIP program. For those of us high achieving women who have a particular goal that we're focused on right now, and we just want more of a little customized one-on-one type of attention to help us get there just a little bit quicker with more success, okay? You can find out more about that program. I would be honored to be your coach to get you to that next level. Information about that program will again be listed in the description and the comments. Until tomorrow, I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. I've had a great time, and I can't wait to see you again soon. Peace.